Hello there, Master Hellish here, and welcome back to my OpenTTD Let's Play series, where we're going to be looking at more of your 2025 game saves. Now, the comments on the last video where I asked you about the length of the looks that we were having at the viewers' networks was a little bit longer than what we normally did, and you generally liked it. The comments were quite positive about that. So we're going to carry on doing that, and today we'll be having our second look, and we'll actually have a third. Normally we just do 1 or 2 episodes. We'll have 3 to make sure that we can get a few in here and have a good look at them all. Again, thank you for submitting them all. It is fantastic to look at them, and I do at least have a quick look at all of them, but we can only feature so many, so thank you very much to everybody who's popping them along. So today we'll have a look at 2 more. Now, quickly, before we do that, there has been another set of comments on my recent videos about the quality of the actual video overall. This is a problem that I've been aware of, but been struggling to fix. A lot of people were commenting that I needed to turn the bitrate up. That wasn't it. It was a much more complex issue. Thank you very much to my moderators and Jackamak for helping me troubleshoot that, and eventually we managed to get down to the bottom of some very weird settings that seem to have solved the problem. Hence now we should have a much cleaner, crisper video image both in the game and out, and also we're running at a higher resolution as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, not only fixed but also better. So there we go, folks. Don't forget to leave all your thoughts, ideas and questions down in the comments section, and let's get cracking with the first one of the day. So we are looking at Archways. So Archways has exactly 1,000 trains. Now there's 72 aircraft and the company value of 7 billion. 5.4 billion of that is in the bank account. So impressive money there. They've managed to save the game on January the 1st, 2025. And just as a reminder, no more 2025 games to be submitted to me. You've missed your point. You missed your opportunity. But if you want to send your end game save at the end of the normal OpenTTD game, we will be doing that. So in a few weeks' time, when the episodes come round, we'll be sorting that out. Let's have a look at the money for this company. You can see that a lot of things are making money. We can see that train income is by far outstripping anything else, and the infrastructure cost is roughly $500 million a year, which is a lot. So yeah, it's a lot of money going through the gates there. So then let's have a look at what we're going to have a look at next. Well, let's go have a look at the challenges, shall we? So first of all, we'll have a quick look at London. It's not part of the challenge, but it's always a nice thing to check out. We can see we've got a couple of large stations in there, and we can see we've got MacLeod straight out the gate. Let's follow this line and see if it takes us anywhere near up where we want to be. Well, actually we get to Peterborough, which is quite nice. Peterborough's grown quite considerably in this game and has started encompassing the various different towns around it. And if I remember correctly, yeah, here we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness, right, okay. We've got a brand new town next to the factory. Is somebody just flexing here? Whole workers, I think they've set up their own new town, have funded a town just for the workers of Whole Beach Factory. I like that. That's fun. That's having fun with it. Not just doing the challenge, but having fun with the challenge. That's fantastic. And you can see here we've got various different train stations around the place. I can see that they've used a few just little good stops around just to spread the stations out so that they can fit them into the factory. So for example, if we look at the coverage of this particular station, actually let's just go full transparent. You can see that the station edge comes along here and then just juts out over that point and goes right, and because of that jutting out, that depot there gives us an extra little bit of coverage, extra little bit of coverage there. So let's have a look next at, let's have a look at how much it's shifting. Wow, 14,000 crates of goods. I'm not sure if that's the largest we've ever seen, but considering how few railway lines there are around here, these must be done quite efficiently. Let's have a look at this. So we've got maglev lines coming in, we've got trains absolutely queuing up. We've got a bit of crossover action available there for the trains, and they split down into multiple platforms, come back round the other way as well, which is nice. Looks like we've got a couple of drop-offs there, drop-off over here as well, looking all good. And then this time, most people I've seen in this Let's Play have opted to take their goods south. Here, we're taking the goods north, and I can see that as they come, before they come into the terminus platforms, they're using some forced double depots here, but also doubling up the track. I'm not 100% sure this bit's long enough, really, for full efficiency, but it's obviously good enough because there is, well, next to no slowdown at all there. We've got a few trains here queuing on the exit. So we've got two entrances and 2 exits now, and there must be some sort of potential load balancing issue maybe somewhere, because all of them are on one of the tracks, but overall looking good. So where are all these goods going? Well, they're going quite far up north, all the way to Grimsby by the looks. Is that what's carrying the goods? Let's have a look at this. So we've got, 37 crates of goods from Holbeach Woods, coming all the way up to Grimsby, which is actually a fantastic place to do it, because in real life, if I remember correctly, Grimsby and the Immingham area around there, there's a lot of goods that come in and out off the water here through the Humber. This is the Humber estuary, and this is the Humber, or roughly where the Humber Bridge is. I've travelled over that bridge a couple of times, and it's a pretty cool suspension bridge to go over. But yeah, this is where there's a lot of movement on freight around the Grimsby and Immingham area. What else have we got going on around here? Let's turn these back on, shall we? So it looks like pretty much all the network's maglev. If we have a look here, it gives us a breakdown of the railway pieces in the infrastructure. We got 0 railway, 0 electrified, 0 monorail, loads of maglev, and 0 vac. So it's all maglev. Every single part of the network is maglev. Now, whether they did that all in one go or not, I'm not sure, but that is all cool. So let's have a look at the Highland Challenge. What we got up here? The Highland. Right. So it appears that the Highland Highway Challenge has not been done yet, though there are a few buses around in various different towns. Now, actually, come to think of it, that would have been a smart thing to do. Right at the beginning of the series, get some buses going in some of these northern towns, because if you can grow these northern towns, it makes it more viable to connect them up later in the game. So you can see here that we've got, Perth is 333,000 people in population, which is a considerable amount. And even, Glasgow is, I can't find the sign, it's behind here, 111,000. I have travelled to Glasgow. I flew there, went to an industrial estate, and came back. I went to see Robot Wars being filmed in one of the hangars in the industrial estate. Haven't actually visited Glasgow before, but I have visited Edinburgh with the wife. It was a fantastic trip. So, speaking of fantastic trips, look at this line down here. Oh wow! Okay, so this is still England over here, because we're north of Liverpool. But there's all sorts of stuff going on here. So we've got steel out. We've got what appears to be another goods factory going on. All sorts of iron ore trains and a great big line network coming up here. And look at these. Look at these over here. So there's loads of them all the way through. Are we into Scotland here? Let's see. That's Edinburgh, Warwick. Where are we? Not quite sure where the border is, actually. Somewhere in this area, I think. Oh, there's Gretna. Okay, so Gretna, and I've been there a couple of times, that's on the border. So yes, we're south of Gretna, which means yes, this is the north of England. All sorts of different bits and bobs going along there. Fantastic. These lines are brilliant. I'm a little bit surprised that it's working so well. I'm not seeing depots on the lines. I've seen depots near the stations. Oh wait, there's one there. That's a bit weird. Why? How come there's no depots on the lines? And presumably the breakdowns on this network would be quite difficult. Ah, look, we've found some. There's a few depots over here, optional depots. So that's, there we go, there we are. So there's some more depots here. Obviously I just wasn't looking very well because now we've got absolutely tons of them. This depot design is something that we have used in the past. It's a really good way to do forced depots, because if you're going to force a train to use a depot, it's got to slow down. So there's no point in taking it off the main line and then putting it back on again. You just have the options for the trains to go in and then the trains to come out, as long as you use a double depot, and that's what we've got here. A whole bunch of double depots. Now what we got this is going into the south round here, and right, okay, yes, Exeter. So 167,000, again, it's a relatively tight Exeter. There's been it doesn't look like there's been any road expansion been done manually here, but it's growing nonetheless. There are a lot of passengers there. I wonder if that line goes to London, kind of like what ours does. Yes, it does appear to go to London. There is no Corsham interchange though on this line, and that has been kind of like the bane of that line's existence on my Let's Play, trying to get Corsham interchange working. Okay, I've saved what may be the best till last, because those 3 challenges have all been quite good, and the network is doing really well, and the bank balance is fantastic. So surely they've started the new island challenge, right? Right? Where are we? South Wales. That's North Wales. No? Oh, is there nothing here? Hello? Oh. Okay, so it's a bit further out than what I thought it was going to be. But that is weird. What on earth? Look at this. Okay, right. So there's a new island going on here, and it's a very interesting way of doing it. So the city, when it expands in the game, it does like a spiral search pattern from the center of the city for its expansion. I don't fully understand it, and if you want to optimize city growth like to the nth degree, then it is a good thing to look into and work out. But normally you need the normal conditions for a normal city growth, and I've got videos about that on my Let's Play, on my tutorial series. But I think that's what's been done here. The spiral design helps the city grow quite nicely, and it's a 40,000 person city out there, and it's, I don't know, it looks like you got a lot of docks and stuff in there. I can see there's actually a hovercraft. Let's unpause the game so we can see. Oh, there's a few hovercraft moving around. So I think those hovercraft moving around are just the ones that are moving people between these different stations to help with the city growth algorithm. If we look at the city growth, it's growing every 4 days. So that's pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so optimize for city growth. I'm going to guess that they may include something else later, or they might just keep growing that pattern out and out and out, which will be an interesting thing to see. I did ask for creative solutions on this, so there we go. Well, let's have a look at the world map properly. Let's switch into this mode, and we'll turn off the town names because it just fills up the map. A little bit of a zoom out here, and there we go. So you can see here that this game is a little bit different to the ones we've seen last time. There's much more of a balance east to west within the country, and I think that's because they've decided to put a second hub right over here with all the different things that are going through it. I mean, this second factory is doing 3,400 crates of goods, so it's all doing very well. Yeah, some of these lines have a little bit fewer depots than what I personally would do. Maybe I overdo the depots, but I can see there are a load of depots just kind of hidden in here and popped in there. So they are around. They are about. It's just you come down some of these sections here and they're just not there. But overall, an absolutely fantastic network. You can see here we've got the bridges so the trains can go under and clearly without the tracks crossing. And just the actual flow of this whole thing is absolutely fantastic to look at. Brilliant. Love it. Well done. And 5.5. I mean, right, okay. Before we leave, how much land mass could we add for 5.5 billion? Right? There's a lot of money in the bank account there. Let's just like start from the corner here and just go, well, it only lets you spend about 500 million at once. But if we keep doing the land, spend all the money, how much will 5.5 billion get us? Let's find out. Wow. This is actually a little bit less than what I was thinking it was going to be. Here we go. We've got about 1 billion left. And we're spending all of their money. And gone. Okay. So that is actually a lot of land. It doesn't look, potentially doesn't look like much. But we are on the biggest zoom out there. We can zoom right in and see that bush. And if we look on the world map and like compare what we've just made, it's a significant island. But that costs 5.5 billion. So it'd be interesting to see what other people can manage with limited funds or better. There we go. Right, that was a fun little bit. Let's go look at the next one. And here we are on the second one of today's looks, and this one is Chris Transport. This one has roughly 1.5 times the amount of trains as the previous one, and has a decent amount of money in the bank account, nearly 2 billion. So let's have a look at the money and the infrastructure to give us an idea of what's going on where. So there are 44 millions worth of railway pieces and 153 millions worth of maglev. Little tiny bit of electrified railway. In fact, that's just one square somewhere on the map. I bet that was a misclick or accidentally placing electrified at some point. So most of the network is actually, yeah, most of it's railway. Less than half of the network has been converted to maglev as of yet. So I wonder if that's something that's in progress with this one. See, London here has got various different train stations going in all the way around the different sides, and it's all sprawling out all over the place. So let's have a look round at the challenges to begin with. So first off, where is it? I didn't go up far enough. Oh my goodness! Right. Let's just hide everything and just take in this whole beach factory. Look at this. So there's a lot of platforms here with a lot of trains snaking around. It looks like we've got goods going out on the west, north, and on the east. You know, you got goods going out to Peterborough, but goods going to Boston, and then we've got some goods lines to Kings Lynn over there as well, by the looks of it. It's quite a lot of goods out just to transport it out. How much is it doing? 5,638 crates of goods. So a good amount, not one of the biggest ones we've seen, but a good amount, and 84% transported. That's good. You need to keep that transported amount above 80, otherwise the factory can decline in terms of its production. Let's put them back on. There's so many signs and stuff. There's a few different labels down here. St Ives farm supplies. So we've got some farm supplies coming up here. Looks like there's some sort of maybe mega hub here. Yeah, we've got a hub with probably a couple of farms in the range. Where's the coverage? Okay, so all these stations are all spread together into the same one here. And yeah, we've got various different farms all linked up to this, which is quite cool. Actually, some of them are quite far down. This one's even further. Look at this. So looking at the designs, we've got 4 depots on the entrance and 4 depots on the exit. It's a bit weird how the 2 depots got their own there. I think you could have got away with 1, but still running good. And a good, nice, easy way of doing it is to have grain and livestock on the same train there. Looks like some of them have more grain and some of them have more livestock, so that's quite interesting. Maybe just throwing down what was needed at the time to try and balance it all out. Let's have a look around other parts of the network. Shall we have a look at King's Lynn here? So we've got loads of depots. No shortage of signals, and actually a large amount of signals at regular intervals helps with train flow. Now I can see on the longer segments of line the signals are further spaced apart, and that's presumably to save money, because if you did your entire network with the signal spacing this close together, you would fork out an absolute fortune for signals across the entire network, because we're playing with maintenance turned on in this series. By default, that's not on. We put that on as part of the challenge. It's kind of like the 5th challenge of the series, to be able to play the game with maintenance turned on. It's not easy, and a lot of people struggled at the beginning, including myself at the beginning. It was an extra challenge that I wasn't used to. But it's an extra challenge, which is all good fun. So King's Lynn, goods in, all that good stuff, fantastic. You got lots of depots here for them all to service, that's fantastic. Got a bit of maglev in, presumably doing maglev upgrade bit by bit, makes sense. Although, having said that, I'm not sure that you are doing it bit by bit anymore, because I've just noticed these maglev trains are passengers. So if we have a look at your trains list, and we sort by, oh my goodness, oh, you're using groups. This is interesting. It's not very often I see people using the groups feature in OpenTTD, because it's quite a manual thing, and you can get away with just mostly using shared orders and not needing groups. So if we have a look, oh right, okay, so there's no shared orders, it's all just one train. Interesting. So using groups instead of shared orders, I'm pretty sure that's something that I would definitely not do, but that's my preference. That's not, like, I'm not saying the best way to do it is with shared orders and not groups, okay? I'm not saying that. What I am saying is the way that I prefer to do it is with shared orders rather than groups. But there we go. Let's have a look. So passenger, maglev, yeah. Okay, so passenger and mail are maglev. So that might be why some lines are maglev and some lines not. And to be honest, that's probably a good call for the most part. This might come from the idea that the wagons, if you go to the wagons on a maglev, let's try and find a depot. Here we go, depot. So if we go in here and we go new vehicles, I think it's the electric and monorail vehicles, the goods wagons, so coal and wood and all that sort of stuff, don't go above, I think it's 160 kilometers an hour. So it's like, what's the point in maglev if it doesn't go that fast? The only difference is that is for electrified rail and monorail, I believe. When you get to maglev, look, there is no limit to the speed of these trucks. So you can actually have super fast trucks that deliver cargo, like the flatbed wagon here. If we find, oh, actually, let's just put one down. Monorail, new vehicles. Does it do it with monorail, or is it just not showing very well? I'm not sure it does do it with monorail. Let's try electrified rail. Just let's myth bust this and find. Yeah, okay, so look, the bulk wagon for electrified rail has a maximum speed of 100 miles per hour. So has the goods wagon, the tanks and all that. So they actually have a maximum speed. I think my kilometers an hour was actually correct if I've got my conversions right. So there's no real point in having super fast trains going 100 or trying to go 150 or 165 mile an hour when you've got these goods wagons. And that's why a lot of people don't use the fast trains for the goods network. But when it comes to monorail and definitely maglev, those restrictions disappear. So it's all good. It's all good. You can use them. And overall, let's talk about station designs and stuff. Yeah, pretty standard. Depot going in, depot going out. You've used force depots on in and out. That's fine. Usually, if you've got a force depot on the way in, then you're not going to have a problem with the train trying to go through the station to get to the one on the way out. So that's a good thing. Like force depots on the way in, usually for most network designs are a good thing. And there's a whole load of power station stuff coming on down here. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on the network. Let's head up now. See, yep, here we go. Look, you have satisfied the criteria of a Highland challenge. So we've just got a road, no bridges, no tunnels, and we've connected Inverness to Glasgow, which is, to be honest, what a lot of people have done. I think out of all of the challenge, the Highland Highway Challenge is one of the ones which doesn't really offer a lot of like difficulty in terms of challenge. Like you just slap down a road and yay, you did it. But it is one of the more difficult ones to be able to get creative with. There's not a massive amount of options. There's not many big towns around here to do stuff with. It's just wiggly land and it's difficult to do anything really that interesting. So when people do come up with ideas that are different, I find it particularly interesting. But most people do pop a highway in there to make sure they complete the challenge. Let's rock it down to Exeter. Okay, so we've actually got notes here on the growth size of Exeter throughout the years, which is, I love it when players do this. Maybe if we do something like this again, it's something I'll ask for. But we can see that we've got our bus service in the centre of Exeter, fulfilling the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stations required for town growth, and the town is growing every 2 days, which is brilliant. Roads are being placed out there to help the town grow. It has grown quite wide. I think I've seen towns that have a bigger population that are smaller for Exeter. So doing these roads like this and flattening the land almost certainly allows it to spread out a lot easier, which is nice. So what are we going to find if we head over the corner of Wales? Well, we have a railway bridge from Holyhead. We actually have 2 sets. We've got a maglev service and a standard service, and it looks like that maglev train is being severely hampered by the speed. No, I thought it was being hampered by the speed of these tunnels, but it looks like it just slowed down at a signal instead. Let's crack on with this and follow where it goes. We've got some depots part way, some more depots again. Looks like we've got, yet again, we're using standard trains for the freight, and we're using monorail for the passengers and mail. And oh my goodness, it's a long one. Look at, oh wow. Look at this for an island. We have a relatively large island here. We've got oil fields, we've got an airport as part of the new island challenge, and the new city, Emerald City, right on top of the logo for the challenge. And we've got a few different bits and bobs. We've actually got some new towns up here, including one called Hufflepuff. We've got Asgard, Slytherin, of course, one there, and there's Ravenclaw and the others as well. I think the only one that isn't from Harry Potter is potentially Asgard. I don't know what reference that might be to. There's a few things that pop to mind. Potentially part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also potentially Stargate, which actually I'm wearing a t-shirt for tonight. I don't always wear my own merch every time I record Stargate SG-1, so maybe it was to do with that. If you're watching, player, let me know. Pop it down in the comments, and let me know in the comments, do you think it was that, or do you think it was a different Asgard from a different thing? What different universes and media and shows and things do you think that Asgard might be in reference to? And yeah, and a few oil fields in there as well. Well, that is absolutely fantastic. Operate. Oh wow. Okay, this is interesting. This is the first time I've seen an operating profit graph like this in a while. And I'm going to suspect that we've had a couple of waves of changing things to maglev. So recently we've had a massive drop, presumably as part of that upgrade. And in fact, if we have a look in here, does it give us maintenance separate? So I think what it does is it bundles train running costs in with maintenance, like the maintenance go with the running cost of the. Oh no, look, property maintenance. Okay, so if we have a look at the last 2 years, we can see that there was 16 million done on construction last year and 20 million on new vehicles. So it's conceivable that we're seeing the tail end of a some sort of upgrade there, like a spending of vehicles, but all looking very good. Little island there. I've not noticed that island before. How have I not noticed that? How strange. So lots of money in the bank. What looks to be a fantastic network, and it all seems to be going rather well. There we go. Quite a lot up here towards the bottom end of Scotland as well. Let's have a quick look at that and see what's going on. So where's the border? Let's see. So the border's somewhere around here. So all of this is definitely Scotland. So there's all sorts of power station stuff going on around here. I love to see networks like this where the trains are all snaking through. So there's a lot of railway line, but like most of the lines have trains moving along them. Like there's a train on that line, there's a train on that line, train on that line, there and there. There's like not many lines where there isn't a train moving on it, and they're moving. That's the important bit. Like there's no big pile-ups. That is when you know you've got a good network there, where there's trains all over the lines, but they're not clogged up, which is absolutely brilliant. One way that I like to look at that is if you go to the world map and you can just go to this vehicle button, and it will show you the vehicles on the network. Now I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. If you're viewing on a 4K monitor or 1440p, you could probably see this quite nicely. But you can see all the trains snaking through the network there in their little red markers, and the road vehicles are the yellow dots there. I don't think this player's actually got any. Oh, it has. They have got some aeroplanes. 10 aircraft. Yeah, it was a bit of fun. There we are. Well, there we go, folks. We are going to leave it there for now. Again, thank you so much for everybody for taking part. Remember, if you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on my channel, the best way to do that is with the announcements channel over on the Discord, or failing that, have a good look at social media that way too. And every now and then I do a hellish news on my channel, so you can keep up to date with that. Oh, and before I forget, I've been saying this on live streams, but if you're not one of the viewers that watch live streams, this is important. I've got a public OpenTTD game coming up. Okay, now I almost forgot to tell you about this, so bear with me a second. I'm going to quick look at my calendar here, make sure I get the right date for you. So if we have a look here on the month of July the 9th. So on July the 9th, I'm doing my charity championship live stream, okay? Now it will be from midday UK time, and I think that's 11 o'clock UTC. And we'll be doing a charity championship, and we will be kicking off with a big public OpenTTD game. So keep an eye out on social media and stuff for that. I'll give it another shout out next week where I'll get more details about exactly what's happening and when, but for now put it down in your diaries. July the 9th, in about, I'm going to say roughly 3 or 4 weeks time. No, maybe more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 5 or 6 weeks time. You've given you notice. I'll see you there. But that's all from me for now. Leave all your thoughts, ideas and questions down in the comment section, and I will see you soon. Take care, and for now, goodbye.